Hey everybody, it's X, and welcome back to some more Magic Arena. Today we have the Qualifier Weekend. This is an event that you get into by being top 1500 Mythic in the previous month, something like that. And if you win through day 1, you get access to day 2, and if you win through day 2, you are added to the Mythic Championship, I believe, which is basically like the Pro Tour event where there are massive prizes and massive things on the line. So the format for this event is Standard, which is a format I almost never play. The last time I ever played Standard competitively was when Kaladesh was still in Standard. I played Teamer Energy, and it got banned from under me, and I was sad, and then went back to playing Limited, like I always do. So I actually have literally no idea what the vast majority of the Standard format is right now, so I'm just gonna jam Mono Red and hope for the best. This is basically just the kind of video where, because I got access to the Qualifier Weekend, because I was Mythic last month, there's no reason not to play it. It's free if you're in it. So I'm just going to try to get some free gems here, do as good as I can, but I expect for a limited player with zero experience in the Standard format, it's going to be pretty much impossible to make day 2, but maybe we will. Who knows? Maybe Mono Red will give us all of the luck. So this is the deck I'm using. It's pretty much just a net deck list from MTG Goldfish. It's just mono red burn stuff. I think the only change that I did was I took out a couple gold span dragons, the big flying haster for like a couple more frostbite, because I did actually watch a tiny bit of Standard, a tiny bit of people playing the Mythic Qualifier for like half hour, an hour before it started here. And I expect to see a lot of creature-based decks, so I would rather have just more cheap removal like the frostbites. And here's the sideboard here. I don't really know what all of the sideboard cards are for, but after watching a little bit of Standard, I think Roiling Vortex is for like Sultai Ultimatum, because they can cast things without spending the mana if they cast Ultimatum, so this just like stops them from doing that, or they take 5 damage per thing they play. Ox of Aghanos and Double Phoenix of Ash, the escape cards, are against the mill decks like Dimir Rogues, and a Crow and War seems to be for just like any creature deck. But you don't main deck in case you're up against like control and stuff. And yeah, more just good removal against creature decks, since Scorching Dragonfire can also exile the cards. So if they're playing escape cards like Phoenix of Ash, you can kill them and know that they're not going to come back. So this is just the mono red aggro list I'm just going to be jamming today. The only other thing that I was considering changing about the deck is Castle Embreth, because of how many creature decks I've been seeing in the MCQ footage I've watched so far. I was thinking about maybe swapping these out for Shatterskull Smashing, because that is a land that, on the back half of it, is a spell to deal X damage divided as you choose among 2 different targets. So for like 4 mana, you can kill 2 1 toughness creatures. That actually is good against a lot of the adventure decks and stuff, like Edgewall Innkeepers can die from that, and just any kind of 3/1s aggressive little creatures like that. So that was a card I was considering running instead of the castles, but I do still like Castle Embreth a lot to go with Anax when you're going wide, buffing up your whole field. Can sometimes even just double the amount of damage you're doing if you've gotten like wiped out by a board wipe when you had Anax on board. All of a sudden all your 1-power creatures are doing 2 power, so Castle Embreth also just a good land spell kind of utility card. So yeah, as I stated before, don't expect the greatest Standard gameplay ever here, but I will do my best. I'm just in it to grab as many gems as I can and get out. Just get out of here. Go back to my limited. Go back to where I know what I'm doing. And we have a lot of great limited coming up this month. I'm pretty excited about it, or at least a lot of variety in the limited. I just realized I still have the audio off. We have Theros Beyond Death quick drafts right now. We're going to have War of the Spark Premier drafts like next week or the week after, something like that. And then core set Premier drafts at the end of the month. They are rotating older draft formats again to keep things interesting. So I think we keep this. I mean, we have Rimrock Knight. Turn 2, we get a 3-1 out. Turn 3, we get these Bone Crushers. We also have access to the Stomp adventures on them and a Frostbite to do 3 damage to a creature. That's why you play the Snowlands. You get to use Frostbite for 3, and you also get to use Faceless Haven. So I am going to keep this. This seems like a pretty solid hand against most decks. We are against a deck with Obosh, the Prey Piercer, as their companion. This could be one of the kind of Rakdos sacrifice sort of strategies, or just like a aggressive strategy. They start with Ketria Triomes. This is a deck I know absolutely nothing about. I have not seen this in the very, very small amount of Standard that I have watched so far. Green, blue, red, and black. Although I suppose Obosh is a hybrid cost, so it could just be Teamer, it could be just green, blue, red. We'll see what's up here. I think if I cast Robber of the Rich, I have 6 cards in my hand. They have 6 as well, so Robber of the Rich won't be drawing me a card if I play it right now, so I'm just going to play the Rimrock Knight, get a higher power creature out. Next turn I can attack with both a Rimrock Knight and a Robber of the Rich, and I can hold up mana for a Frostbite. Brazen Borrower from our opponent. This could be just a blue-red deck, I guess. Ketria Trium you could run without needing the green mana. You could just run this as it comes into play, tap to blue-red land that you can cycle later. Looks like they are stuck on 2 mana here, so Robber of the Rich is likely to be quite good. I think we play Robber of the Rich, holding up a Rimrock Knight, so I can do a couple extra damage here. If I don't immediately hit a 1-mana card with Robber, I will just do that, because then I'll want to just play this as a 3-1 next turn. Well, another Brazen Borrower it is, just to slow me down here. Sure. I guess there would be an argument for casting Rimrock Knight in response, so that this goes into my exile, so I have 1 less card in hand for Robber of the Rich. Since they are casting a bunch of adventures as well, they are down to 5 cards in hand, so Robber of the Rich is pretty far from drawing me cards. They also foretold a card. Interesting. So I do have 4 mana now, so I can cast Robber and Rimrock Knight. I think that is what I will do. I get at least 2 damage in here thanks to haste, and they're tapped out. If I had cast Rimrock as an adventure, I could have cast Robber of the Rich and just stomped my opponent's face for 2, and then I would have had a low enough amount of cards that I could have drawn a card off Robber. So they have 5 cards in hand now, so I do kind of want to just get a stomp out of the way here. So I know I draw a card off of this. And if I don't draw anything good, I will just cast a Bone Crusher Giant here. Oh, wow, I drew a Bone Crusher Giant from them. Guess I can just cast that. Could do that any turn I attacked with a Rogue. Alright, they're just going to scoop them up. I'm going to be playing pretty slowly here. I don't want to mess things up astronomically, and the vast majority of these cards are cards I do not have much experience with, because they're like rares and mythics, stuff you very rarely get in Limited, so I will probably be irritating some of my opponents, but I'm not intentionally just slow playing. I'm trying to play correctly. So we're against a blue-red deck. That's what we know for sure. Several Brazen Borrowers means they have several flyers, several creatures that are going to get in the way. We already have 4 Frostbites for getting creatures out of the way, 4 Stomps with Bone Crusher Giant. I don't know why I can't zoom in here. What is that? It's got like little purple sparkles coming out, and it won't let me zoom in. This is so weird. Alright, well, I have 4 Stomp, 4 Frostbite to get creatures out of the way already. We didn't really see enough, I think, to go for anything specific here. I guess if I view Battlefield, I can see what their foretold card was. I should be able to. You're supposed to be able to look at that after the game. Yeah, I mean, I just see Borrowers and an Obosh. I don't know what they had foretold. It won't let me click on the Exile. If we knew what that was, that might change something here, but I think we're just playing the same deck. Or if no mana was spent to cast that spell. Okay, so this doesn't really do anything in this matchup. Red Cap Melee just hits red creatures. We only saw an Obosh, which has 5 toughness anyway. Just gonna run it back, I think. I guess Embercleave is pretty bad against Brazen Borrowers, so maybe we could just cut a couple Embercleave, throw in some Scorching Dragonfires. Just do something like that. Even just throw in a couple Phoenix of Ash. That seems fine. Throw in a couple Phoenixes here. Instead of 4 Embercleave. Maybe even still want to do 3. I'll just cut 1 Embercleave for 1 Phoenix. Not really confident with the sideboarding either. Limited player fumbling around in Standard. Round 2, let's go. Or game 2, I should say. This is all still round 1. Uh-oh. That's probably not great. Gonna keep it anyway. If we were in Limited, this would be a slam keep, even in Cube. So, just gonna take a Limited mindset into the Standard gameplay. And it's probably not going to pan out, but if our opponent gets very unlucky again, we'll win at least 1 round. That's what I'm hoping for. If I win 1 round, I get some gems, some amount of gems, I don't know for sure, but I basically got that for free, because it didn't cost anything to enter this. Rimrock Knight, I could cast a 3-1 here, or just cast a Fireblade Charger, go wide. I kind of think I want to go wide. If we're against, like, Teamer, I don't really expect some kind of board wipe. Although, this is Standard, so they have access to any rares or mythics in the game, so there's like rare red cards that'll do a bunch of damage to all the creatures. Alright, Stomp it is, sure. That'll counter my Rimrock Knight, unfortunately, so that is very bad for me. I guess we did see a Bone Crusher Giant, because we hit it off of our Rogue, so I totally forgot about that. Well, I'm just going to play Phoenix of Ash, but Frostbite is going to get Bone Crusher Giant out of the way. It's better to get in 2 damage here, I think, than the 1. Frostbiting it just clears the way for my 1/1. That doesn't seem great. So I guess they're like Teamer Adventures. 4 mana available now. Lovestruck Beast. Creating a 1/1. Now they have a 5/5 on the board. I can play an Anax and a Frostbite. I think I attack for 2 in the sky here. There's no way I'm blocking with Phoenix of Ash. Frostbite can kill Bone Crusher. Fireblade Charger kills the 1/1. Then Lovestruck Beast can't attack either. We are definitely casting an axe here. We could also just trade an axe for something. It's going to be a 5-power blocker. But we don't want to open ourselves up to getting 2-for-1'd again by them, like Brazen Borrowing Phoenix of Ash or something to make Anax just a 3/3. So I think if they just slam an attack here, or they just Brazen Borrower main phase. Yeah, that's fine. So I didn't even have to think about preventing a 3-for-1 on me or anything there. So I do get to block here and kill the 1/1 to stop more damage, which seems pretty good. Definitely better than just blocking the 1/1 and doing 1 damage to them. They definitely have the card advantage here. The Rimrock Knight pump was a pretty bad play, but I totally forgot about Bone Crusher Giant. We should have just been playing actively to avoid getting 2-for-1 like that. But now I will know for the future. Castle Embereth's a pretty nice draw, just in that it's much better than just any other land, but I guess it's not great here. We'd prefer any non-land card over the castle. We do have the Anax, though, to go wide. They do have the second Lovestruck Beast, unfortunately. 5 mana. I can't pump Phoenix of Ash if I'm casting an axe here, but I'm at 13, so I kind of just have to cast an axe here. So no Phoenix pump it is. Pass the turn. I think we get hit for 5, that's fine. Even if we hit another land, we'll be able to block with an axe and kill Lovestruck Beast next time, because we'll be able to use Castle to give it +1/+0. That was not me asking for another land. I was just saying, worst case scenario, we could do that. Can't attack in with an axe. Well, they can block with a 1/1. They've got Brazen Borrower here. They can cast and block our Phoenix of Ash. Actually, because they have Brazen Borrow, I can't survive next turn if I attack, because I just keep drawing lands now. This is probably not a keep. Ketria Triumph cycling here. If I attacked with Phoenix of Ash, I block Lovestruck with an axe and take 9, so had to not attack there. Actually really happy to see them attack with Brazen Borrower, since Phoenix of Ash can escape from the grave anyway. We've got 4 cards in grave. This requires 3 to escape. So I'm very happy to take this trade, and pretty happy to take the trade with an axe as well, because at least I get some tokens here. But I'm less happy there, because the tokens can't block. That means Lovestruck Beast number 2 is just going to be killing me next turn. So we do need to draw into something. But at least there I'm still getting something out of the trade as well. I do have enough mana to cast Phoenix of Ash and pump it up to block Lovestruck Beast and kill it. So if they like run out of cards here, I guess it's unlikely. Are these all Foretold cards? Oh no, they spent 3 to use Obosh and put Obosh in their hand, not Fertile card. All right, another land. Phoenix of Ash is coming out, and we have the 3 mana to pump it up to trade with... Ooh, no, it won't trade. It's going to be a 4 power creature. Oh wait, yeah, it will, because it gets the +1/+1 counter. I was right in the first place, I just forgot. So we bring back Phoenix of Ash so we can actually block Lovestruck Beast, because if we can't block Lovestruck Beast, we die. None of these creatures can block anyway, so we send all of those 3 in. Obviously hoping for a trade with their 1/1, but even if not, we might be able to survive if they don't have removal. This is constructed though, so they very likely have removal. Another Brazen Borrower would do it. A Bone Crusher Giant would do it as well. They could just use the Bone Crusher Giant to shoot us for 2, and then we're dead, because we just block Lovestruck Beast, take 1 there. Obosh it is, alright, we live to see another turn. 4, 5, 6, 7? 8 mana would be enough to spend that, give all our creatures +1, or I guess 8 mana would be enough to do this twice. Hit for 5, 6, 7... I don't think it matters. They probably attack. Yeah, they probably attack, so we don't have to think about if Phoenix would be lethal, because we don't have any other option but to block. If they don't attack with Lovestruck Beast, we've got a minor chance at winning here if we draw into Embercleave. Now I don't think there's anything in our deck that can save us. This ended up closer than it was looking, at least. We do get to recast Phoenix, so Embercleave would still win the game. We actually did still have it out because we... Well, did we? No, we're 1 card away from recasting Phoenix in our grave. We need to escape 3 other cards, so yeah, even hitting Embercleave wouldn't do it there. I don't have blocks. I've got 1 blocker here, so we just slam all attack. They don't have to block anything here. I've got no cards in hand, so they know I can just do 8. But they can just to be extra safe. Well, ended up closer than I thought it would, but I think it definitely should have just mulliganed that hand. Heading into game 3 here. Also, I think the using our Rimrock Knight to get in for that extra 2 damage, that actually probably cost us the game. We definitely shouldn't be making plays like that against this sort of Teamer Adventures deck. Now that I have a little experience against it, because they have Bone Crusher Giant that they can stomp for 2, and then kill whatever we're targeting with Rimrock and counter our Rimrock Knight, and they also have Brazen Borrower that they can cast for 2. Petty Theft, I guess, is the adventure on that, to return something to hand, so they could use that as well, return Robber of the Rich to her hand, then Rimrock Knight wouldn't have a target, and it would go to the grave. So they have several different ways to just counter a Rimrock Knight and kill a Robber of the Rich if we try to like pump it. So we probably should not be casting Rimrock Knights for their adventure very often at all in this matchup. So Just thinking, I guess a Crow in War would be okay against like their 5/5s and stuff. But they do have the Brazen Borrowers to be able to return their own creatures to their hands if we're using a Crow in War and doing anything fancy there. I don't think I have anything in my main deck that I hate in this matchup. We just need to make sure that we're just casting Rimrock Knights as 3/1s. But everything else I think is like okay. Our stuff gets walled off by 5/5s pretty easily, like the 1-drops, but by stacking up other damaging spells like Frostbites and Stomps, we can trade up into them, especially with the first strike. We could just eat the 5/5 if we do enough damage. So I think I'm fine with everything that is in here. But I'm not 100% on that. This is literally my first time playing this deck against that deck. So I will keep the 7 here. We've got Robber of the Rich turn 2, and if we hit one more land, we've got some solid gas coming up. Ooh, opponent did take a mulligan. That's good for us. I need all the luck I can get to win at least one of these rounds so I get some gems out of this thing. I just don't want to 0-3. That's all I want here. 0-3, you get no prizes. Kazandu Valley starts things off for our opponent. We'll drop down a Robber of the Rich. We get to draw a card here. It is a land. Well, I guess we milled them one at least. Turn 2 comes in a mountain. They have green-red available. Did not hit the third land. Hit a third Annex. That's pretty awkward. 6 cards in hand for our opponent, so we cast Fervent Champion here, attack both. Hope to draw a card, but they probably have Stomp on Robber of the Rich. If they have Stomp on Robber of the Rich, they do it right now before I attack, so I can't draw another card. Alright, so we're hitting for 1 here. There's the 3rd mana for Bone Crusher Giant. They cast Lovestruck Beast instead to just stop my creatures from sending in. Bone Crusher Giant's a pretty bad draw here. We just need any land. Gonna pass. Innkeeper? We get to shoot the Innkeeper before they cast an adventure creature. I guess I should have shot it before they go to combat so they couldn't attack in there. But now I do get to crack back for 1. Good lord. Alright, well, we hit for 1. Drop down a Fireblade Charger. Another Innkeeper, seems good. But now they could attack with Beast, but then I just kill it with our Fireblade Charger. I guess I get to attack with Fireblade Charger, because if they block, they lose the Innkeeper, and they don't want to do that. So I get to poke in for a damage here, because they're just not going to block. And then I just get to kill Innkeeper before they cast any adventure creatures anyway. So that's just a cheeky way to sneak in 1 damage there. Because we were going to kill that Innkeeper either way. We're not going to let them just start drawing cards by casting a Bone Crusher Giant. Oh my god, they just have the full play set of Innkeepers here. Down to 10. I guess that's only the 3rd one, so 3 out of 4. Foretell a card. Don't have anything to kill an Innkeeper. I could play an Anax as a good blocker against their combat. I guess even just holding back a Fireblade Charger is a fine blocker. I do also just want to play an Anax. I'm going to have a really high red devotion, so even just attacking in with that will be good here. Although, for like racing, just playing Phoenix, playing another Phoenix is solid. Let's just get aggressive, I guess. If they Petty Theft our Fireblade Charger, then we're in a really bad spot. But, That would mean they just have the absolute nuts hand. Triple Innkeeper, Bone Crusher, Brazen Borrower. If they are going to attack here, they should definitely attack with both, so they sneak in a damage at least. So good attack. We're definitely killing Innkeeper, stop Beast from attacking, and stop them from drawing any more cards off of their adventures. Another Bone Crusher Giant, but I only have 3 mana here, so I think I drop Phoenix of Ash, hit for 4 in the sky, they're down to 8. Really trying to hit like Embercleave or something. Stomp doesn't do anything for us. I guess Stomp would do stuff on blocks, but I think we hold off for blocks. Actually, probably playing a Nax is better here because we can block and trade with Bone Crusher and get more attackers out. Like, we're at 9, so we do have to actually block things. Like, we die to Innkeeper and any adventure on board right now. If we just play Phoenix of Ash and attack all, except for Champion. Because then if they get rid of our 1 chump blocker, we die. Yeah, I think I'm playing in a Nax here. Take 2 damage if I shoot Bone Crusher with a Stomp. So I don't think I send in Fervent Champion. Drop an axe. Cutting the 1 Embercleave may have been preemptive. Because we really want it here. Probably just never cut Embercleave because it's so good if it resolves. To where even though they could like petty theft us and really get us, if they can't, it's just mega lethal. Alright, Fabled Passage grabs a forest, giving them 5 mana. They can't cast Obosh here because they have to still put it in their hand. Pick up a Goldspan Dragon, hit us for 4 in the sky. Going for the 2-turn kill there, probably. Goldspan attacks for 4, Goldspan attacks for 4, and then they cast a Stomp or something. They've only played 1 Bone Crusher Giant this game, so they could very well have another Stomp coming up. So we are really trying to find a way to do lethal here, but it's not likely. We attack with an axe, they just trade with Lovestruck Beast. Phoenix of Ash gets in the sky. We've got a Frostbite for 3 damage. I could kill Goldspan if I Frostbite and Bone Crusher, but then they get a bunch of treasure. They would get, yeah, a lot of treasure there. I could hold back Phoenix of Ash to be able to block their stuff. I guess I kind of just let them get the treasure. They still have 4 cards to play around with, though. So the treasure is doing a lot. They'd have 3 extra mana total. 1 treasure now, 2 more from targeting Goldspan Dragon twice. Yeah, if this doesn't work, it does really blow up in our face. But I think we're going to do it. Double block on a Nax. Or just a single block. Maybe I should have sent all in, because then it definitely looks like I have Embercleave. They know I don't have Embercleave if I attack with just these 2, because I wouldn't be able to cast it. But then I just don't have a blocker. We just trade. Shoot the Goldspan here. If they have a petty theft, they could return their Goldspan Dragon to their hand, but they could have done that in the first place because all of their treasures tap for 2. So unless they have a 4 or 6 mana card here, then we're good. Oh! Okay, so we just die to that. Because I can only block once. Alright, well, I guess it's some kind of extra turns deck. Well, I could have played around that if Arena actually showed me what their Foretold card was in Game 1. But I had no idea. As you could see, I tried to view Battlefield, but it would not let me see the Exile at all. So that is unfortunate. So, knowing that for like a future matchup, I would probably play just like really defensively there. We probably weren't likely to win that game either way. Definitely playing first in the mono red deck. Keep this. Slam down the 1/1 first strike haste, turn 1. Get going. So I guess Teamer Adventures is now Teamer Extra Turns. But mainly just still Teamer Adventures. It's just the same deck. With one new call time card. I don't love this trade, but I think I offer it anyway, because like Frostbite isn't gonna not offer the trade. Offer the trade, drop down a Rimrock Knight, maybe that can actually get in with double Frostbite to back it up. Alright, they just take it. Drop a Rimrock Knight here. We could just hold off, because now, like, if they just hold back Fireblade Charger, we can't attack in, because they could 2-for-1 us, but yeah, I was gonna say, there are red decks that are probably also trying to get aggressive here. I do get to Robber of the Rich and Frostbite their Robber, and then our Robber will just, like, always be going off. Guess I should have waited. Since it was tapped anyway, we might have hit their own Frostbite and just used their Frostbite against it. But I also like just lowering our cards in hand a lot in the mirror match. Make our robbers better and their robbers worse. Scorching Dragonfire. Main deck Scorching Dragonfire. Alright. I guess running that instead of like Frostbites. Basically the same thing, but for one more mana you get to exile them. I think we just dropped Torbern, right? We still can't really attack in well on this board. Could attack in with a Faceless Haven, but I do need one more snow mana for that. That is the unfortunate part of the Castle Embereth and the Shatterskull Smashing for that matters. They don't combo well with the Faceless Haven and the Frostbite and all that. If I attack both, they block the first striker with the Charger, shoot the Knight, if they want to not take damage, and if they want to kill both creatures, they block the 3/1 and shoot the first striker. They take 3 from Torbern that way. Block, they kill both. They can actually still just kill both and not take damage here. We are still just using all of our mana getting Torbern on this board. Rimrock Knight. If I attack with Torbern, we're trading with an axe and they're getting tokens out of that. So that is not great. I could Frostbite an axe, and then they get 1/1s that can't block, and I can send in with Torbern. They only have 2 power that can block. I've got a 4 toughness creature. They have 3 damage that could block if they block with both and send the extra damage when this dies to Torbern. Alright, they're going to block like that so they can kill our Rimrock Knight probably. Kill Fervent Champion. Oh yeah, because Rimrock just already gets stonewalled by their first striker. Just completely walled off. I don't know if I want to cast this Rimrock Knight, because it's not going to block their 1/1s, and it's not going to attack in their first striker. But if I hold it off, I could use the plus power for something good. Probably still going to cast it, because I have mana sinks out to where I could spend the 3 on a Castle Embereth, I could spend 3 on Faceless Haven if I draw another Snowland. So I'm just going to get it on this board. Torben with the Anax tokens is really good. That is an issue for us, because we just can't block. I totally forgot. It's not even just not wanting to block, it's just we can't. Well, if I draw Embercleave, we just go for that. Embercleave plus Torburn makes it very likely this is just lethal. Hit for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this is lethal. And that was a very good reason to cast the Rimrock Knight that last turn, because it made that Embercleave draw lethal where it wouldn't have been otherwise. I guess it probably still would have been, but they could have blocked in a way to make it not more easily. Do we just play a ton of removal in the mirror? Just like Scorching Dragonfires? Kill an axe and it doesn't give them tokens? That seems good. Redcap melees to kill Torburn seems good. What doesn't seem good in the mirror? Honestly, kind of Rimrock Knight, because it just... the Chargers and the Champions are so good against the Rimrocks. But then we're kind of just playing control, which is weird. I don't know. A Crone War doesn't seem insane in the mirror, but it's solid. Because it's a creature-based matchup. So borrowing their creatures seems good. The fact that they have Scorching Dragonfire in their deck means I'm less inclined to like the Phoenix of Ash. So we could run like some Crone Wars over those. I have no idea what I'm doing here, but I guess I'm going to do like this. Cut some Frostbites so that I get the exile-based removal instead. And some Redcap melees, because those just do 4 instead of 3, so they're just strictly better than Frostbite. And then we cut one Rimrock Knight here, maybe. So this is an extremely learning experience to me, to where not only do I only play limited, but I basically never play 2 out of 3 also. Just best of 1 limited is where it's at. We have turn 1 Fireblade Charger, turn 2 Stomp. We need to hit more lands to do anything here. This is real awkward. But we are on the draw. We're on the draw. Fireblade Charger and Stomp can hold things off for a little bit, and then a Crone Wars are like great over a long game, because they can like wipe their board on the second part, and we're getting some value off the first. I'm gonna keep this, but I'm not sure about it. Fervent Champion, so we can trade our Charger into that. Did hit the 3rd land, so a great sign. That means, thanks to Bonecrusher Giant being the adventure and the giant itself, this card is just really good at making sure that your curve works out, because now we have a turn 2 play of Stomp and a turn 3 play of Bonecrusher Giant. They draw into a Scorching Dragonfire. That makes me want to just kill their Robber of the Rich, but I guess I could Stomp their Robber. I could also Stomp their Fervent Champion, so we'll just kill the most damage here, and then kill the other one next turn. Embereth pass. Probably should have played Snow Cover Mountain in case I draw the land, I forget its name, Faceless Haven, but we don't really have the 3 damage spell anymore. So yeah, this hand is very much setting up to just outvalue our opponent over a long game, hopefully. But they are stuck on 2, so they still have a lot of cards to play around with. They have a Rimrock Knight in hand here, just 100%. Or something to do 2 damage. If this is Rimrock Knight, this block is terrible, because Rimrock Knight, they just cast the Adventure and then cast the creature next turn, so they're not even down a card doing that. Yeah, I think we have to just not block, because it could be Rimrock Knight. Yeah, it's Rimrock Knight. Cool. Did draw the Faceless Haven. Crow and War is actually not insane on this board, but I get to attack in with Bonecrusher Giant now. I guess it will wipe their board eventually. Which one do I want to borrow? I think I borrow Fireblade Charger so I can just send in here. Hold off their field by blocking with their Fireblade Charger. But yeah, our Crow and War is definitely going to be good this game. This just has panned out very well for it. Bonecrusher Giant getting Frostbitten, so it'll do some damage to them. Ooh, I was really hoping for that attack. That got me real excited. So they have to attack with everything this turn, so we know that we're trading their Fireblade Charger into their stuff, so we're just going to wipe their whole board, which is fantastic. Another Crow and War, but I do not want to cast that right now. I also don't want to attack with this Fireblade Charger. I think I drop a Faceless Haven, so that's also ready to block and also ready to start attacking the turn after. 4th land for our opponents. Send in with everybody because they have to. Counter on Rimrock Knight. I can kill both with Fireblade Charger here, and then the Fireblade Charger dies too. Embercleave, it shall be. I am still going to kill all their creatures. So I think we stop just as much damage wherever I block, but now I can activate Faceless Haven to stop more damage. I don't think I want to lose Faceless Haven, but it would stop me from taking even more damage. But here I'm stopping 1 damage from the Rimrock Knight. And then a Crow and War is just going to kill it on my next turn. So they just have an Embercleave on board and nothing in hand. So how much do I take here? I take 9. I go to 5 life. If they play Fireblade Charger and equip Embercleave, that's real bad for me. Do I actually want to lose this Faceless Haven? I really don't think I do. I think I have to block like this. I think I'm just not trying to lose Faceless Haven here. Alright. Kill that Rimrock Knight. I can Robber of the Rich and have 4 mana up, which is enough to Faceless Haven. If I hold all snow mana up, so I can even hold up a blocker here, or I could attack with Faceless Haven. If I attack with Faceless Haven, I hit for 6, they're dead in 2 turns to Embercleave. Are they dead in 2 turns to Embercleave? Because Faceless Haven attack in for 6 here. Embercleave, I'd be attacking with 2 creatures in, but it would require 3 there, so I'm attacking with 2 creatures to make Embercleave cost 4. I have 2 mana up, I'd have 3 mana up, so they're not actually dead in 2 turns to Embercleave. I have to, like, hit something off of this Robber of the Rich. What could they have that would kill me? Like, Fervent Champion and Fireblade Charger would attack him with haste and hit me for 4 with Embercleave, but that's not lethal. They've got 1 card in hand that would need to also be burned. I think I do send in both. And yeah, I can't even draw cards off of the Robber right now because they've got, like, no cards in hand. Faceless Haven of their own is a very bad time for me. Torbrand to take with a Crow and War is real solid here. But I need to worry about their Faceless Haven. They can activate that and attack me with it, but they can't equip their Embercleave to that. So we are hitting for 4 now. I mean, I think we're pretty set up here. They got to draw something fantastic. The Crow and Wars were really good in this matchup. That was fantastic, this game. All right. Already better than I thought I was going to do. We won a round, and we won in the mirror, so that's nice. It's nice to know that at least decent at the mirror match. If there was any match I would like to win, I would like to at least win the mirror match, because that would be the most, like, you played the deck well kind of matchup. Because objectively, we were playing the best decks, or the same decks. However, there was also definitely luck involved. There's always luck involved in Magic. But hey, we got one win. We're getting 200 gems out of this, no matter what happens, so I'm happy with that. We got something out of this, even if it was not a format that I'm good at or experienced with or really enjoy playing. We got something out of playing this event. Opponent has Obosh here, so is this Teamer Adventures again? With the Time Walk spell? That's the only thing I've seen playing Obosh so far, but I'm sure there's also like Rakdos Aggro, Rakdos Sacrifice, something like that. I think we're on the play here. I'm keeping this hand because all these robbers. But it is a lot of lands here. I'm definitely much more hesitant to keep the 5 landers after that first round. Ooh, drawn to the Faceless Haven seems cool. They did start with Ketria Triumph, so it looks like we're playing against the same deck, so I guess the one good thing about running up against the same decks in Standard is we've played 1 game against this deck already, so I actually have experience against this deck, even playing 2 games of Standard recently. Do I want to play Phoenix of Ash or Robber of the Rich? I don't need flying here, so I think I'd rather just play Robber of the Rich so I can draw more cards off of them. Although, if I play Phoenix of Ash, I am using all of my mana, because turn 4 I'm going to play Torburn here. Bone Crusher Giant on the first Robber, sure. Second Robber is going to draw us a card. Ooh, we drew one of their Time Walks, so we're playing against literally the same deck. That is just the confirmation right there. So if we make it to 7 mana, could take an extra turn. If I make it to 7 and attack with Bone Crusher in the same turn. Well, cast a Torburn now that we have 2. That's definitely the play. Attack with Robber, trades with their Bone Crusher. Or they just take 4. I was going to say I would definitely take the block if I were them. Now we're going to play Phoenix of Ash, try to get in for a lot of damage in the sky. 4 damage each attack. They've got 4 mana available though. The adventure decks are going to pretty much always have card advantage over us, so we really need to just be getting real aggressive trying to push our damage in, I think. Embercleave is nice here. Embercleave on the Phoenix could be great in the future. Could just make lethal very quickly. Not quite next turn. It would be a 3/3 double striker with Torburn, that'd be 10 damage. Goldspan Dragon. Ooh, I'm happy to see them attack with that. That means Phoenix of Ash still gets to get in. 4, 5, 6 mana here. I have enough mana to attack with my Faceless Haven, but they just block with Lovestruck Beast, so that's pretty terrible. I could double pump Phoenix of Ash. That's probably the play. Or I could even just Embercleave. If I attack with both and I Embercleave on Torburn, does Torburn add 2? Torburn does add 2 to its own damage, so if I Embercleave on Torburn, I can eat Lovestruck Beast without losing a creature. I do lose the element of surprise with Embercleave, which is pretty massive. But I get in for 4 in the sky, kill Lovestruck Beast, and do 5 on the ground. So they go to like 3? That's gotta be worth it, right? That's if they block Lovestruck on Torburn, which is the most obvious block. If they block like the 1/1 on Torburn, they just die to Embercleave. They do have 2 mana up because Goldspan Dragon makes their treasures do 2, so they could have a Petty Theft, in which case we just lose this game no matter what we do, because they can always Petty Theft whatever we Embercleave, even if we Embercleave next turn. Yep, that's just game. They could even Petty Theft the Cleave, and it's really bad for us. Yeah, I think that was the right play, because, as I said before, if they had Petty Theft, we weren't winning that game any turn. They could just hold off on it, unless they, like, misplayed and didn't hold it up. But with the Goldspan Dragon, it's so easy to hold up those 2-mana adventures, because you just need 1 treasure token. So yeah, we definitely were not winning that one. I don't know what I want in this matchup. I guess I like being able to kill those Goldspan dragons, so maybe the red cap melees can kill Goldspans and can kill their Bone Crushers. It'd be nice to be able to just 1-for-1 trade with a Goldspan with our removal. But other than that, maybe a Crow and War, because they do have like 5/5s and stuff that do get in the way and annoy us. This was why I sided out that one Embercleave the first time we played against the Teamer deck, and then I ended up really wanting to draw Embercleave anyway. So I don't know if we actually side out the Embercleave, but as you can see, that game was pretty much like the worst case scenario of why Embercleave is probably not great in that matchup on occasion. We could technically cut some lands, but I don't really want to. We have definitely been mana screwed before, but we've also been flooded. Maybe cut one Embercleave, one land. Just always cutting one Embercleave. Definitely going first. Super keepable hand. We got basically a turn 4 Embercleave pretty easily. We also have double Fervent Champions, so they'll buff each other, so they'll both be attacking for 2 damage on turn 2, which is very solid. They did Mole to 6. So if we draw any like Robber of the Riches, they're going to be a little harder to get, but with the 1 mana cards, I mean, we can definitely get to a lower hand size than our opponent. Edgewall Innkeeper here. We would love to kill that, and we draw the Stomp. Get off my... well, maybe they block. I don't think they block, but maybe they block. Get off my board. Actually, you know what? That was a misplay. That was a definite misplay. They have Obosh, which means everything in their deck costs an odd mana cost, so they can't have a 2-mana adventure card. So I should have just stayed aggressive there. Play a Nax first here. So if they want to stomp, they have to do it when I cast an Nax. But yeah, they weren't going to draw cards off of Innkeeper until the turn after, so I should have just played another champion, I think. 4 mana now. I can Fervent Champion and Bone Crusher. They're using Klothys in this matchup, which I guess is to gain life. Gain 2 and deal 2 to us. But yeah, definitely not going to get there. I'm pretty sure we got this game on lock. Even if they wipe us somehow, we've got a Nax spitting out a ton of tokens, and we have double Embercleave now. Yep, that is the scoop there. That was a great hand, great start there. So now that we know they have Klothys, we might want to cut out stuff like Phoenix of Ash, because they can just exile them from our grave, but at the same time, we don't have any other creatures we could put in our deck that aren't also escape creatures. Like if I cut Phoenix of Ashes, I'm just putting in Phoenix of Ashes or Ox of Agnos as the creatures. So I could like cut a Phoenix of Ash and throw the castle back in, go back to 24 lands. But I like it how it is now. I think it's fine. Maybe cut a Phoenix, throw in an Embercleave again, have the play set. So yeah, obviously the Phoenix of Ash is just what it says on the card. It's no longer trying to escape every game because they have the Klothys in there to exile them from grave. Opponent goes first. The hand's awkward. We got a turn 1, 3, and then 4 play. Really want to draw like a turn 2 or turn 1 card here for this to be solid. We are really trying to outrace the opponent, so maybe we try to mull and get a faster hand. Like last game we had. I'm gonna keep this. Get that 1/1 from the Lovestruck Beast. We've got the Faceless Haven coming up. Got a Bone Crusher Giant now, so I do have a turn 2 play here. Want to take that trade? I really don't think I want to take that trade. They could Bone Crusher their own 1/1 to counter my Bone Crusher. But it's not stopping for anything on their turn, so I don't think they have a Stomp. I guess I could just Stomp their face so I know that I get to keep my Bone Crusher. No, risk it a little for the biscuit. Alright, did not have a Bone Crusher. And it wouldn't be that bad. They'd have to Stomp their own card to counter my Bone Crusher there. So it's definitely not as bad as like if they stomp something I'm trying to Rimrock Knight and make bigger. So they do have a Love Struck Beast now, which is going to be annoying, but hopefully an Axe can get large enough to attack into that. With Embercleave, an Axe can very easily just hit for like 20 and win. So an Axe is really great on this board. We get to play Torburn next turn as well, and an Axe is absolutely massive. They have to just block there, give us the Satyr tokens, which is also good with Torburn. The Satyr tokens are now 3/1s that can't block. This hand is actually a real good combo here. Great henge from our opponent, though, meaning that they get to gain life. Every turn they gain 2 life, and they draw a card and get a +1/+1 counter on every creature they play, so they're going to get some really big creatures. We're definitely playing Torburn here. Attack both, because they're going to have to block an Axe. And even if they block Fireblade Charger, it does 3 damage, then it dies and does 3 more damage. But Torburn with the Axe out to give me the Satyrs seems like a real good start here. But our opponent's got a very solid start against a red deck as well, gaining 2 life every turn, giving all of their creatures a +1/+1 counter so they're bigger to block with, and drawing cards off of them. Elder Gargaroth, that is definitely a sideboard card that is going to try its best to hose us here. With an Embercleave, we can kill that. We can like definitely kill that. I can attack with 4 creatures here, so I could play an Axe and then steal Embercleave for just 2. They block and kill Torburn and gain 3 when they block, or they get a 3/3 when they block. But we're going to get Satyr tokens out of it, and we have another Torburn next turn. Block the Fireblade Charger. Create a beast. Okay. So we get to do 3 damage to their face with Fireblade Charger. So they're at 17. They take 6 here, so that they're at 11. Embercleave on Torburn does 10. They go to 1 life if I throw this Embercleave on Torburn, but they have Great Henge next turn. They have Elder Gargaroth attacking and gaining 3, so they go to 6. If I Embercleave on Fireblade Charger, it is 4 first striking power. It would kill Gargaroth. It would kill Gargaroth with its combat and then kill the beast token when it dies. That seems really good as well, but I do like putting them at 1 life. I'd put them to 1 life, get a Satyr token. I still have Torburn on the board as well. They've got the blockers and they gain up to 6. They just gain so much life. I think I have to Embercleave on the Fireblade Charger. They have an instant here, though. They still have something to do for 2 mana here. They have something to do for 2 mana. They have no blue available, so it's not petty theft. Unless they're just holding priority. I think we actually throw it on Torburn then, because if they actually do have something to do here, it's a stomp, and they just stomp Fireblade Charger and really get me. So I guess I throw it on Torburn, put him to 1. Unless it's red cap melee in case... Okay, well, if it's red cap melee, I do nothing either way. That's brutal. I think that just wins the game then. They drew their really good sideboard cards against us, and it's going to overwhelm us. Elder Gargaroth plus red cap melee there. The Gargaroth being able to stay on this board is really going to get us. But we do have a backup Torburn here. Don't have the mana to equip an Embercleave and cast backup Torburn, but I can cast backup Torburn. Yeah, this was a sad one. Rimrock Knight. I can cast Torburn and use a Rimrock Knight. They have counter spells in this deck too? In Temur Adventures? They have counter spells in Temur Adventures now. Well, we're mega dead. Well, that is 1 and 2 here. Can't be too mad whatever happens now. I got at least one win. I got some free gems out of this thing. Again, I was never trying to win in this event. I just don't enjoy Standard and don't really have the time to practice Standard anyway when I'm trying to be decent at Limited and just actually enjoy Limited, so... There was definitely no universe in which I was going to practice for this event, because I didn't pay into this. It's just kind of like I'm obligated to do it because I got in. So even just getting the one win here seems real solid. Get some free gems. All right. We do need another red source. Drawing triple Haven here is awkward. We've had a lot of really weird draws going on in these games. Triple Haven. We had that opponent with triple Edgewall Keeper. Playing against a white snow deck. Could be mono white. Looks to be the case. There's like a mono white weenie snow deck going around now. Hollowblade, we get him to discard a card for the Charger now, but it's probably better to just drop Phoenix of Ash. I should have played Faceless Haven there, so I have the option of attacking with a Faceless Haven this next turn, although I'm probably not going to take it because they have a Hollowblade on the board. It does not seem like an option that I want to do, but I absolutely should have played Faceless Haven that turn, because we could still cast Phoenix of Ash, and then Faceless Haven does not have haste, so you have to play it earlier. Redain here to make all our Snowlands come to play tapped. That's fine, we've already got as much mana as we'll ever need. Oh, she also makes Embercleave cost 2 more. Oh, that's actually sick. Could make him discard a card. They got 5 in hand here. No blocks. Rimrock Knight. Drop down a Haven. Trade with either thing here. Really hope they block anywhere so I can use Rimrock Knight's Adventure and then cast Rimrock Knight. Just make the most of my cards, make the most of my turn here. Okay, so we are going to be trading there. I could spend the 3 to buff that, and then I don't have to use Rimrock Knight, but the thing is I want to play it on the board anyway and just have another attacker. I guess it doesn't attack well into the Hollowblade, but they seem to be just trying to crack into me here. Yeah, since I just want to cast this 3-1 anyway, we'll buff it up by using this instead of its own ability. And Phoenix of Ash can come back from the graveyard eventually. Redain cannot. And now we can actually use Embercleave next turn, possibly. I obviously cannot block there, since Rimrock Knight has that nice little shield with a slash through it. Well, mono Hollowblade. Do I want to play a Nax, or do I want to play an Embercleave? If I attack it and go for an Embercleave here, how good is that? It's not great. I guess I get the first strike damage Hollowblade, so they have to give it indestructible on the first strike damage, but then it's still going to kill my thing. And it's not going to do that much damage here. I think we play a Nax, and then we're trying to throw an Embercleave on a Nax, and that'll actually be like a really big amount of damage, even if they give indestructible for blocks. If I attack with Fireblade Charger, I do get to shoot both of their things. Make them discard 2 cards. Yeah, we've got more than enough mana to cast Embercleave. Even if we have like 1 less attacker in the future. Yeah, so they just take 1 there. Poke in for that 1 damage. I don't think I'm blocking here. I'll just take 9 if they attack. I actually kind of want them to just send in. That makes things significantly worse, though. Having the removal for an axe. Could hit for 8 off of Embercleave. So I hit for 9, put him to 6. I guess I have to hold back a Fireblade Charger now, which is not awesome. I get to attack with a Faceless Haven here because I'm not really Embercleaving this turn. Yeah, we could go for an Embercleave lethal next turn. So we just Faceless Haven this turn. Hold back Fireblade Charger. If they have another removal spell, we're dead. Actually, I should have just held back a Faceless Haven for blocks here. Because if they don't block, we are actually just dead. But we weren't going to win this game if we're just blocking next turn, so... Not a massive punt. Okay, well, we definitely weren't winning either way. Maul of the Skyclaves it is. Definitely not playing Red Cat Melee in this matchup. Probably playing the Dragonfires. We just play like a ton of removal against their ton of creatures. I do like a Crow and War. I like that in any creature-based matchup. Didn't really have any indestructible stuff, I think. Yeah, just throw in some Crow and Wars. I like that. What do I not like in this matchup? Pretty much nothing. I like everything here. Take out a couple lands, maybe. One of the pets is like yelling at me. It's super weird. I can still hear the pet sounds. Could take out a couple snow-covered mountains instead of Castle Emberths, so we have less lands that get tapped by Redain, which is kind of cute. But then obviously Faceless Haven gets a lot worse. Maybe we even just cut 2 Faceless Haven if we're cutting snow lands. But that card is very powerful. I guess since they have exile-based removal, that does make an axe worse, so we could cut like one of those in one Embercleave. Yeah, Phoenix of Ash just hasn't really been performing much, so could actually just cut the Phoenix of Ash. All right. Let's go monocolored aggro matchup. I am going to play first. I'm going to mulligan. We saw what happened last time we got the 5-lander. It was not pretty. We have Champion turn 1. We have Haven and Embercleave in the late game. I just don't think that is keepable. We can deal with this. I really want to be able to Crow and War. I think that is just great in any creature-based matchup. So I think I get rid of Frostbite. Just use Bone Crusher Giant for trying to kill a creature. Might even just play Rimrock Knight turn 2 here, if they don't play a turn 1 creature. If they do, I'll probably just stomp it. Selfless Savior. Would kill that with combat. Sacrifices to give another creature indestructible. So if I'm ever killing a creature, that's the only one I get to choose. They have to have a target to do that, right? I guess if I stomp it, they can just sacrifice it in response and counter my Bone Crusher Giant, which is terrible. But right now they don't have a legal target for it, so I think I can stomp it right now and they can't respond. So this is like the only time I get to kill that. Unless I just try to stomp another one of their creatures and get them to sacrifice it to kill it. Which seems fine. Yeah, you know, I will just play a Rimrock Knight here. I'll just stomp whatever their next creature is, and if they sacrifice the Savior to save it, then whatever. At least that doesn't counter Bone Crusher Giant. Because it'll still resolve, it just won't actually kill whatever I target. Like Giant Killer, we'll just target Giant Killer now. Got 3 mana, so I could cast the Bone Crusher as a 4/3, or I can just stomp. Maybe we're even casting as a 4/3, actually. Let's go for the stomp. Sacrifice Savior here, then I don't get to attack this turn. Seems fair. Play our land and pass. They have 3 mana now. Redain is back at it again, sure. Robber of the Rich seems solid. Redain is good against a Crone War as well. I should have thought about that when I was thinking about my sideboard. We do need to kill Redain before we do anything else. Probably trading for Giant Killer. Yep. Skyclave Apparition, brutal stuff. Yeah, this mono white deck seems real good against red, because now I just have like 2/2s that attack into their 2/3 flying vigilance. I think this is definitely the kind of matchup that I would need a lot of experience to know how to sideboard well into this, and even then, this deck seems very poised against us. Like, we just need the nuts super fast hand or it's over. Yeah, all these indestructible things and stuff. Maul of the Skyclaves, come on in. Hit me for 5 a turn with flying now on their Hallowblade, and we can't kill the Hallowblade with anything because it can get indestructible. Guess I would need like Soul Seer against the Hallowblades, but even then they can respond by giving it indestructible again. So even that doesn't work against them, I don't think. Even if I hit my 6th land, I can't use a Crone War because my land comes into play tapped. Yeah, we're just so dead. Not exactly lethal. It would take 2 more turns to die, but I don't really see any way out of this game. Even if there's like a 0.1% chance, I'm just not going to play it out in standard, I think. Just not my cup of tea, not really my format. So that was the Qualifier Weekend Day 1 from a limited player's perspective. We got 200 gems out of it, which is more than I could have asked for, really. So I will accept that. I'll take that. I also think that there was just some good gameplay and learning in general, like being able to play against the same deck twice was kind of nice to see how maybe there would be better ways to play around stuff and sideboard around stuff. I think definitely in that game 1 against Teamer Adventures. Well, throughout this whole video, I made plenty of mistakes, I am sure, but there were some mistakes that I made that I was learning how to correct within just this gameplay, so it was kind of fun to play a format where I am learning as I go a whole lot, because that's kind of one of the reasons I like Limited a lot, is that the format changes pretty often, you know, every few months, and every time it's like you're relearning it new fresh. So Standard is fresh for me right now, so it would be fun to kind of learn it, but it gets stale really fast for me, and I just don't love playing against the same decks over and over. So that was my Qualifier Weekend Day 1 experience. We got some gems out of it. Much better than nothing. I will absolutely take it. we hit pretty much exactly my goal, and that is going to end today's video. So thank you all so much for watching. If you made it to the end of the video, then thank you extra, because not a lot of people do. And I will see you again tomorrow for probably some more just regularly scheduled drafts. So thank you all for watching. If you want to see more of this content, stick around on the channel, or check out the Twitch channel in the description below, where I occasionally stream some extra games, some extra Magic. I might want to stream some video games now and then. I'm getting a little burnt out on Magic lately, now that call time is not super fresh, but I will be super excited once War of the Spark's back on as the Premier Drafts. They're going to start cycling through the Premier Draft formats again, so it'll get all fresh and lively there again. So I'm pumped for that, but until next time, I'll see you tomorrow.